Good morning. My name is Jane Perkins. Our service leader this morning is Lori Whittemore. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. The service is being live streamed and recorded. For those of us joining on YouTube, we encourage you to have a candle or chalice to light when we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you come from, we are glad you are here today. The theme for the month of March is trust. We invite you to carry that theme with you as you are here with us today and into your daily life when you leave. We commit to be co-stewards of this land owned by the Wabanaki Confederation and to work toward a world that is just and thriving for the whole of the web of life. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you exit the sanctuary. Please silence your cell phone. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service. We hope you can join us there.
Please join me in the words for lighting our chalice. This is our sacred promise, to gather together in peace, to seek truth in love, to serve human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. We truly know far less than we think we do, but let us know this much. We are not alone. In our joy and in our loss, in our quiet, daily, blessedly ordinary moments, we are not alone. A small truth, maybe, in a vast and rapid world, but let us hold that truth and trust it. As we hold and trust the joys and the sorrows and the moments shared in this space today, we make this space holy, and I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. And now stand as you're able and join me in singing hymn number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. Now's the time in the service where we turn and greet our neighbors.
music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I hear gladness in the air. Over my head, I hear gladness in the air. Over my head, I hear gladness in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I see angels in the air. Over my head, I see angels in the air. Over my head, I see angels in the air. There must be a God somewhere.
As a prelude to Joys and Concerns this morning, if you would like to take out a note-taking device, a pencil and paper, or your phone, our own Janine Wilson will be celebrated for the life she shared with us here in the sanctuary on Saturday, April 26th at 2 p.m. We would welcome anyone who would care to join us at that time. The time. This is the time in our service when we share what is in our hearts, whether it is a great joy or a sorrow. So if you would like to come up, tell us who you are, and share what's in your heart, we would love to share that with you.
Good morning. My name is Peggy Belanger, and I lit one candle to celebrate my first grandchild's first birthday. So, we had so much fun. And the other is I want to thank John for embracing my love of this church and for just being there for me. Thank you, John.
The things we do to support this church, I can't tell you. The times I sit in the kitchen, pulling out and trimming the wick on every single candle so that it will light easily. And easily is something that doesn't always come to us when we are carrying things in our heart. So this candle is for those joys and concerns that remain unspoken.
Let's take a deep breath together and settle into a place of reverence and prayer and meditation. We are grateful for this morning to come together and be in kinship. We hope for joy, but we trust also that we will see people in their authentic selves, and we will hold and care for them. And that will indeed boost us to know that we are held and cared for. Several candles were lit this morning, and few voices. There's a lot in our hearts and on our minds that goes unspoken, as is the way of the world. Infuse us with spirit. Give us strength and courage. Let there be joy. Let us see a path. And may that always be so.
This morning's reading is by the Reverend Gretchen Haley, This Act of Faith. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac, capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we'd thought, as if we are not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all already figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. If you would stand as you are willing and able, sing with us hymn number 15, The Lone Wild Bird.
Please be seated. Trust in what you do not yet know. Trusting in what you do not yet know. I include that in all weddings I perform. What I call the declaration to be married, which is kind of a legalistic term, but it's important for the administration of a wedding, to make sure the people in front of you are there of their own free will and accord and are really there to get married. And as part of my ask, I always say, knowing what you know of one another and trusting in what you do not yet know. Are you here to be married today? In marriage, of course, you have this choice, right? Whether or not you are going to get married. We don't have that choice in our lives. Here we are, whether we like it or not. But we are invited to trust in what we do not yet know. The trust is that whether or not things are going well, that you will make every attempt to stay in a marriage, for instance, when it is a safe and healthy environment. So you're trusting that you actually will have the fortitude to navigate what you do not know. Maybe that your partner will be something you expect, but that you will have the fortitude to navigate. You will live into your commitment. You will trust in the unfurling of more mystery and love. Trusting in what you do not know, knowing that that you love someone, and trusting that there will always be enough love to move you forward. Love. There's a story about physicist Niels Bohr. A visitor once noticed a horseshoe hanging over the door to his lab. And the person asked, as a scientist, do you really believe in that superstition? And he replied, of course not. But I'm told it works even if I don't believe in it. That's faith. That's trust. That is trust in something that you don't even understand. Even scientists get there are things that they don't understand. In fact, I think they know it more than anyone. I was in seminary with a doctor, a retired doctor, and he said, being a man of science, the first time he delivered a baby, he knew there was more to life than science. That is recognition that there's a mystery bigger than any of us that exceeds our capacity to know. And I share this story because it speaks to something profound about the human experience, our relationship with uncertainty, the things we cannot yet fully understand. As Unitarian Universalists, we often pride ourselves on our rational approach to faith, on our commitment to reason and evidence. Yet here we are, gathering Sunday after Sunday, drawn by something that we can't quite name. Now, some of us are drawn here by kinship and community, which I think is so important, but something says there's something more to our being together that's worth getting up on a Sunday morning to explore. So what brings us here? What calls us to sit together in these pews, as uncomfortable as they can be, and join our voices in song, to share in the joys of sorrows as we light our chalice and our candles? It's certainty, not dogma, not creed. It's not a text. It's not a shared belief in a specific deity or a single sacred way of being in the world. Perhaps it's something far more mysterious. That's the word, mysterious. A recognition that we are all walking in the dark together. Sounds dark, doesn't it? But we are walking in the dark together. And in here, we are holding hands as we go. Think about the most meaningful moments in your life. Come on, take a moment. Think about those most meaningful moments in your life. The times that you fell in love or held a baby. The moments when you might have chosen to bring a baby into the world or create something new through music or art, or to take a stand for what you believed in was right. Did you have certainty then? Did you know the outcome? Did you have proof that things would work out? Of course you didn't. You had something more powerful than that. You had trust. Trust is different from belief. Belief claims to know. Trust admits it doesn't know, and it moves forward anyway. Trust is what allows us to put one foot in front of the other when the path is not yet clear. When it's shrouded in fog, when you don't even know that there's a step in front of you. Trust moves you forward. It allows us to say, I love you, for instance, even when sometimes you don't necessarily feel that way, when you know you need to say it to move the relationship forward, to move you forward into that love, without any guarantee of what tomorrow might bring. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote to a young artist, "Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into an answer. Live the questions now." This is what it means to trust in what we do not yet know. Trusting that the answers will come when we live in the questions, when we embrace the mystery. Now, some people might say this approach is lightweight, that it's better, maybe as the more religious might say, to have a creed or a strong belief system in what's there. Our faith chooses something different for us or allows us to choose something different. Science and self, I want to say science, which is something we hold on to, that great bastion of knowledge is built on the understanding that every theory is provisional. that today's facts may become tomorrow's footnotes and plays out again and again and again. As examples, consider some of the absolute truths that science once held dear. Physicians once treated illness based on the theory of bodily humors, believing that disease came from an imbalance of blood, phlegm, bile, black and yellow. For centuries, scientists were certain that light traveled through an invisible substance called lumiferous ether. That's how light moved. The respected anatomists of the 19th century insisted studying the bumps on a person's skull told you everything you needed to know about them and their mental abilities. Each of these theories was accepted as fact by the finest minds of their time, only to be gently set aside as our understanding grew. What humility this should teach us, what openness to wonder it should inspire. Trusting that we don't know all things, knowing that more knowledge will come. There's a Jewish teaching that says before a child is born, an angel teaches it all the wisdom of the world. But just before birth, the angel touches the child's upper lip, creating a philtrum, that small groove right here, and the child forgets everything. We spend our lives remembering what we once knew, trusting in the wisdom that's a part of our very being, that feels constantly beyond our grasp. I think religion tries to say that too, in its weird ways, like original sin, for instance. You are born a child of God. You are fully perfect. And when you enter the world, you forget what that means and work all your life to restore yourself to the perfection you were when you were born. Sometimes we get that skewed, I think. But I think that's such a beautiful image. When we light our chalice each Sunday, we're not lighting it because we're certain of anything. We're lighting it as an act of trust. Trust in our capacity to grow together, to learn together, to love together, to make meaning together. We're lighting it to remind ourselves that even in the darkest of times, we can create light together. And our principles orient us to know that, to call us, to light that chalice, to be a beacon to others who might know it or need to know it. And as we use our principles to orient us, our principles are centered around love. Our principles have evolved to values on a national level. Our bylaws as an organization ask us to revisit our principles. I know we'll never give them up, but we're asked to think about them and evolve a bit. But they all center around love. In fact, that's the image. I meant to give that to Matt this morning, but I forgot. We are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. It's our North Star. We use our principles to orient us, and our principles orient us around love. I want to share with you what our children say every Sunday morning when they light their chalice. They say, we are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. We light this chalice today to practice giving thanks for all that we have. That's what they say every Sunday morning. Love, gratitude. And love is the core of our principles, and it is the center of our new values. We haven't taken up that conversation about the new values, and we will in the fall, perhaps. The beautiful aspect is that love is at the center, love is the core, love is the point. For me, rooted in Christianity, going to a Christian seminary, that was always my belief system. Whatever dogma, whatever creed, the whole point was love. The Bible says it's love. You all know 1 Corinthians 13, and the last line is faith, hope, and love abide, these three. But the greatest is love. Other spiritualities and belief systems also believe love is the core. You may orient yourself differently. Love might not be your core, and that's okay here. That's why we're Unitarian Universalists. Some people don't see love They don't see love. They don't feel love. And I say that's where trust is. If you believe that there is love, love will find you. It's like, when you buy a car, all of a sudden you see cars everywhere, the same car. Well, I think that's like love. If you believe in love, if you work on love, if you nurture love, you'll start to see it in other places. Look for the helpers. They're all here. They're here and they're everywhere. Look for the helpers. Turn yourself to where love does exist and focus on it. And when you feel the absence of love, make it. Make love. Make it happen. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Substitute. Ask not what the universe can do for you. What can you do for the universe? And if your answer is love, bring it. Bring it to your life. Think about it. Reflect on it. Pray about it if you pray. Meditate. Sing about it. Dance about it. Draw about it. Trust in it. There's a story about a Christian minister who was so overwhelmed. Pastoral care demands, capital campaign demands, church politics. His days were filled with more and more business, and he told a mentor, I am starting to not see God anywhere. I don't have a moment. I can't eat. I can't pray. And then his mentor said, then set aside an hour to pray. Make that your priority. Reorient yourself every day to what you see as the most important thing in the world, whether you name it as God or not. And I know you're all busy. I hear from you. You're all busy. What is it you orient yourself to? What's the most important thing in your life? Take that hour or that half hour or that 15 minutes and orient yourself that direction. Buddhists meditate to clear their mind, empty their vessel, and in so doing, truth can fill in that vessel. You have as big a part in orienting yourself towards truth as anything else. We hold it here. We hold you here, hoping that you'll take that spirit with you. Prayer has always been important for me since I was very young. Though the working and orientation and concept of it has changed through the years, I spend time there at least twice a day. Prayers have always been answered, to be honest with you, only when I don't ask for something specific, only when I admit I don't know what I need. When I admit I don't know what I need and I need help, if I just say those words and I breathe, I find the answers. Whether that's my mind giving me clarity, whether whatever it is whatever it is, meditate. Make space. Orient yourself to what's important. No judgment, by the way, if your North Star isn't love. I just want to say that. Upon reflection, you can come to know what it is for yourself. But again, it's spending time thinking about it. Please commit to finding it. That's what you need right now. That's what we all need right now. When you feel an absence of that most important thing, I invite you to inject it into the world. If you know, I was asking my husband this the other day, he's not here, I can tell on him. He said that justice and fairness is really his North Star. And he's ailing right now because he feels like it's not there. So I said to him, inject it into the world. Find a place where you can live that out daily and be grateful about that. You have as much responsibility for bringing that North Star alive as it does for just showing up for you. As a UU minister, I don't stand here today to give you answers. Instead, I stand here. My whole thing is about inviting you to join me in these questions. I did and do believe that love is the core. You may not, and that's okay, because I'm a UU. And that we have principles and values to continuously lead us to that North Star. You may have other ideas and as a UU minister, I support it, and your community supports it here. Your spiritual companions have committed to support each other on their own spiritual journeys. And I say trust in the process of seeking and in the wisdom of uncertainty, even when it's uncomfortable. We want to control, we want to know, we want to feel safe. But trust in the knowledge that we don't have to know everything to know we will get through. We come together to be a community that supports one another in orienting ourselves and orienting each other. We trust that in coming together, we will be held and we will hold others. I say that in my pastoral prayers. We will hold each other in the light, whether we like them or not, whether they annoy us or not, because we're all on our own individual journeys and we all have things we're struggling with. We will illuminate our way forward individually so that we can illuminate the way to the chalice for others. We are not in charge of it all. I hope we can agree on that. That's one thing I think we can agree on. We want to control outcomes. When we pray, we want to ask for a specific answer. Only our commitment to bringing about a specific outcome sometimes orients us. But while we are committing to trusting, there will be an outcome that points us in the direction of love and kindness and freedom and justice and mercy and fairness. At least that's what I try to tell Pete. And things are so messy right now. Life is so messy. We don't know how to clean it up, really. Can you imagine? I have no idea how to fix this. We don't know where things are going or what our part will be in it. It's a mystery. Let's admit that. Let's be curious. We know things, but we do not know, and we do know what's important to us. And if we forget, let us take time to remember and refocus. Let's take that time every day to refocus. Let's help each other refocus. Let's remind each other that they are beloved, regardless. If others forget, let's remind them and support them in their not knowing. It's okay to not know. It might stink where you are right now. There is a path out. It's okay to not know right now. You're okay. Our spiritual journey is to be gentle with ourselves and each other in the not knowing. Let us hold our questions as carefully as we hold our answers. Let us trust in the mystery that holds us all, not because we can prove it, but because, like Bohr's horseshoe, it works even if we don't believe in it. Together, let us trust in what we do not yet know and move forward in love to make it so. Blessed be. When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our time and energy, our talents and skills to support the work of this church here within the walls and out in the larger community. We also bring the gift of generosity, giving what we can so that the work of the church can continue. As always, half of our offering is shared in the larger community to support the work of an agency doing good and important work. This month, we're sharing it with MUUSAN, Maine Unitarian Universalist State Advocacy Network, who are doing legislative things to represent fairness and love on a state level. If you're watching from home, donations may be made through the Give button on the top of our webpage, UUSacoBiddeford.com, or checks can be mailed to UUCSB, 60 School Street, Saco, Maine, 04072. This morning's offering will now be received. please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. And join me in singing hymn 101, Abide with Me. May we go out today with trust in the tenderness that so often arrives to us when we are in pain, with confidence in the courage that arises from within but is not fully our own doing, and with faith in the larger love that never ends and never lets us go. Go in peace and love this day.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we
Our service is now concluded. Thank you so much for being with us today. There will be fellowship and kinship in the parish hall afterwards. Please do join us and remain seated for the postlude.